Welcome to the Cork Creative Podcast. With this podcast, we hope to shed some light on the creative work that Cork's artists and business people are doing and to give them a platform to discuss their journey to now, plans for the future and lessons learnt. If you would like to learn more, please visit corkcreative.ie. I am Geraldine Hennessy, your host. I am a technology-enhanced learning project manager for Flux Learning, a digital education company proudly situated in Clonakilty, County Cork, where I live and work. I'm delighted to be joined by Rebecca Connolly, owner of Rebecca's Beauty Salon in Rosscarbery. Rebecca has recently moved into producing her own organic apothecary products. I came across Rebecca's range when I received a beautiful gift of them from a friend and was immediately intrigued by the gorgeous packaging, and after delving a little further, was delighted to learn that it was created by a local businesswoman. So today we discuss how Rebecca's apothecary was born, pandemic life for a beautician, her challenges and goals, and her future plans. You're very welcome to Cork Creative, Rebecca.
Thanks for having me.
You've run a successful beautician in Rosscarbery for several years. Have you always wanted to work in the beauty industry, and how did you get into it?
Yes, I've always had a really big interest, and it's probably turned into a slight obsession as I've gotten older with everything to do with beauty and self-care. I suppose my real passion in the beauty industry would be encouraging people to see their natural beauty and using products that are organic and sustainable. I started by doing work experience in a salon in Clonakilty and went to the College of Commerce. And I think I've been studying since, really. Loads of courses. You got to keep doing courses to keep up to date.
So I suppose it's a continuous learning curve. Like there's a new fad coming out all the time, I suppose. Yeah.
It seems every 5 minutes there's something new coming out. But that's what makes it so exciting as well. I think that kind of keeps your interest going.
Yeah, because it's never going to be boring if there's always something new to learn.
Absolutely.
And so running your own beauty salon has meant a long period of closure due to the pandemic. Has this been difficult for you?
Yeah, it was hard, definitely. It was very, very strange. I've never had that sort of long period of time off work ever since I think I got my first job when I was 13. So it just felt very, very strange. I really missed work. I missed my clients. That's actually the biggest part I think I missed. Really, really, really missed my clients. Missed the chats. And I missed my brides as well. So many of my brides had to postpone their weddings. They're on to like date number 4 now at this stage. And it's been very hard on them. But I suppose I'm acutely aware that, I was lucky to be able to stay in my nice, comfortable home. There's plenty of other people who are far worse off, especially those healthcare workers. I have loads of friends who are healthcare workers, and God, they were amazing. They were literally putting their lives at risk, and all of our retailers. And yeah, so I suppose as long as I was able to stay at home and keep doing some sort of crafting or, gardening or just generally finding something to try and keep me busy. And that's kind of where the apothecary came in, just kind of started making my bits and pieces. And it was great to have a project to concentrate on.
It must be really good that you had that other interest that kind of was kind of tied in with beauty, but then it was something that you could maybe focus your mind on a little bit as well and develop that further.
Yeah, definitely. And I think having the space and the time to do it meant I could totally throw myself into it. And it meant that I was able to do loads of courses through the local enterprise board to kind of back up that business as well. Because I suppose I've been in a service industry for 17, 18 years, but production is completely and utterly different, and a whole new set of skill set is required. And in fairness to the LEO, they're amazing. They just couldn't have given me any more help and encouragement as well.
And do you think, like, if it wasn't for the kind of enforced closure that the pandemic caused, do you think that you wouldn't have been able to have the time to maybe focus on this new line?
Definitely. I mean, I studied aromatherapy years ago. So aromatherapy has always been kind of a big part of my life. And I've always been interested in reading up about herbalism and doing different courses in it and stuff like that. That was kind of like my little treat to myself, that I do those kind of courses. Like one year I did my Christmas present to myself was a 2-year course with Warrior Botanicals. That was a 2-day course. It was brilliant, really, really enjoyable. So like it's always been a kind of a hobby of mine. And then when the pandemic hit, Firstly, my friends and relatives were literally asking me, they were like, those lovely soaps you make, can you send some? One cousin living in Cork, she couldn't get soap. She literally was, going through places in Cork, massive shops, everything, empty shelves, couldn't find soap. She was like, can you send me up some? And I was getting loads of different requests like that. And yeah, I would have never had the time, but I did get a bit, definitely a push as well from those I care about, my friends and things like that. They definitely did push me in the right
I
direction.
suppose they kind of knew that what you were capable of and saw the
Yeah,
possibility that lay ahead for you.
yeah, yeah, absolutely,
Very good.
absolutely.
So can you tell us a bit about the apothecary products for those who might not be familiar
Sure.
with them? Like how did you get kind of started in actually making those products? Or
Yeah. So I suppose I would have made kind of versions of my products over the years for presents and things like that. As I say, just as a kind of a hobby. But then when the pandemic hit, I just started researching really into antiviral stuff. I suppose just trying to protect the ones I care about, And I stumbled upon the story of thieves, which is I was just intrigued from the second I read it. I was like, oh wow, sounds so cool. And when I actually blended up the oils, they smelled amazing. Now it's a very distinctive smell, but I absolutely love it, and it seems to be popular. People are liking it. So the story started with these four thieves, and it was back in the 15th century when the plague was all over Europe, and these four thieves were stood in front of a judge, and the judge offered leniency if they told them their secret. And basically, they had been robbing from all of the victims of the plague, but they hadn't got it themselves. So the judge had kind of figured out they must have some little secret here. They figured out something. So these four thieves, I think they only probably became thieves just out of purely trying to survive. They had lost their jobs. They were working on the docks, so they were working with imports of oils and herbs and spices and things. So they put together a blend and they soaked these rags and then they put them into the masks. So did you ever come across the plague masks? Have you seen, the pictures? It's quite iconic. So they started making those plague masks and they put the rags into them, and that protected them from getting the plague. So unfortunately, the judge was a bit cruel. He didn't really grant them too much leniency. I think they just had a nicer death, which is awful, absolutely awful. The poor things. But their antiviral blend has been used since, and I did my own version of it, and then I started putting it into my soaps, and it was kind of with the soaps I started. And I also make beeswax candles, bath salts, and I think during lockdown, baths have become a big kind of ritual. It's a big kind of it nearly punctuates your weekend by having a nice relaxing bath. And I also, of course, made hand sanitizers. Everybody needed a hand sanitizer, and some hand and body washes as well, made with Castile soap, so it's really good for sensitive skin. So they're all kind of based with organic ingredients. A lot of the stuff I actually grow myself. I kind of would have in the garden anyway myself. So it's also seasonal. So like each batch is a little bit different. It's going to be continually changing. So yeah.
That's the good thing or the beauty of the products. Like if you get, like I got a beautiful gift of them. If you got a different, another batch, say another soap, I got the soap. If you got the soap again, the smells I suppose would be that little bit different. It's never going to be the same. And that's the beauty of having a locally produced product from like with the ingredients coming from your garden, that it's not going to be this exact same as you would if you got it from the supermarket. It's not going to be the exact same soap.
Absolutely. It's not made by a machine. It's made by me, and all the ingredients I pick each particular time to kind of suit that time of year. And I also, whatever is in season. And a lot of the time as well, like each batch is very, very different because, the moon cycles and everything can kind of have an influence on it. So yeah, each box is different.
And like as you say, like baths have become a real indulgence, and I suppose people can't go to spas anymore, so it's like, oh, let me just have a bath.
Yeah.
No, I have a beautiful bath, but I'm not allowed to use it because my 5-year-old is like, this is my bath, you're not allowed near it. So I have to either have a bath when he's asleep, which is probably about 11 o'clock at night, probably a little bit too late. But it's a real kind of thing of luxury in your own home. So you're kind of tapping into that whole have a spa at home kind of market.
Exactly, the spa at home
Yeah.
idea. And I think especially during lockdown, I think we all needed to kind of take care of ourselves a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more. Everything was a little bit upside down. And yeah, those little moments where you were just kind of doing something nice for yourself really did make a difference.
COVID kind of made us kind of give us a little bit more time where we can enjoy those little indulgences a bit better.
Yeah.
So like was moving into selling those products kind of a natural progression for you, or like given that you have your a beauty salon, or
Well, I suppose, yeah, I have always sold products and they've always been natural and organic products in my salon. But as for making them, it was quite different. How I went about starting to sell them was actually a little bit of a happy accident. A friend of mine, a businesswoman, Helen Wychley, she was putting together these gorgeous packages for all of the people that work for her in her hotel down in the Celtic Ross. And it was basically a thank you to her staff for coping so well with COVID and for doing such amazing work in the hotel and for taking on all of the new guidelines and everything. She just really wanted to show them how much she appreciated the hard work that they did. So she came to me and she just said, look, could you give me a hand putting together a package? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I was coming up with lots of different products that we could put into them. And I just kind of, on a bit of a whim, the bits that I had been making for family and friends, I threw them into the bag and I showed her when I met with her. Obviously, we were socially distanced when we met. Just thought I'd throw that in there. So she had a look at them and she really loved them. And she ordered one of the soaps for every one of the packs and one of the beeswax candles. Do you know, really did it on a whim, but I was so delighted that she did actually take it. And I think when she was so positive and so interested in the products, I just thought, okay, like friends and family had been saying, you have to do something with this. And when she gave it the go ahead, I went, right, that's it. Got to do something.
I suppose she was independent as such. She,
Yeah.
it was giving you that validation maybe that you needed,
Exactly.
an external
Exactly.
validation just to kind of give you the
Yeah.
little shove that you needed just to get it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Your packaging is beautiful. Like, did you come up with the design and packaging yourself, or how did you come about that? Or
So when I started with the packaging, I wanted something that represented just how natural the ingredients are. I wanted it to be as nice as the product. I wanted it to be sustainable and recyclable and made from recycled materials as well. So the person I went to was Nina Gilbert from Design Bird. She is amazing. I've actually followed her for years. She used to work in the UK before, and I used to follow her there as well. She, like, first of all, Nina's an artist. Like, she's so talented. And when I met her and when I gave her the brief and showed her the products, she literally got it immediately. Just like the first few prototypes, I was like, that's perfect. Yeah, you've totally nailed it, Nina. And she's been brilliant to work with. She's so helpful. And she's introduced me to other local suppliers and things as well, like Heirloom Seals, which is over in Onahincha. Didn't even know that they were that close to us. But yeah, so I was able to get labels, all that sort of stuff. It's all been sourced locally, which is brilliant. Now as well, I have a mentor with the local enterprise office, and she's also helping me to kind of expand that. But I will always be sticking with Nina from my design point of view. She's gifted. Yeah.
When I got the gift, it was posted to me because of COVID times, obviously. And it was just when I got the little box and like your handwriting is beautiful. I was like, oh my God,
thank you.
This is just so pretty. And it seemed to just really represent the product so well. It looked so natural. Yeah. It wasn't brash or fake or plasticky. It was just all so very natural, and it was just so beautiful. And I was like, I don't want to open it because it's so pretty. And then just opening it, it was just, it kind of made the present even better, because then you had the actual beautiful products. But like, it's so important to have good packaging, in my opinion, because it's the first impression that people get of your product. And I was just like, oh, this is so pretty. Oh my God. It was just perfect. It really encapsulated, I think, your product really, really well,
Oh, yeah, I think Nina, she was fantastic to work with, and she really nailed it. She nailed the brief completely. And one thing as well, actually, you said there about the little handwritten notes. that's something I really enjoyed the whole way through lockdown, was writing these gorgeous
Yeah.
notes. Like the lovely messages that people were sending to each other. It was just so
Yeah.
lovely. It was really, really heartwarming, actually.
Because that's all people, it's people have is just the gift of words or communicating. And especially when you're giving a gift to someone, it's lovely to have a little message or whatever, with it.
Yeah.
And
When it's that personal, it's so lovely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think we missed each other so much. We just wanted to give each other a hug, and sending a hug in a box was kind of the only way we could manage to do it.
That's it. Yeah. It's not like if you're getting stuff on Amazon or whatever, and it's a bit
something generic.
It's a bit impersonal, but like obviously there's a need for that too. But yeah,
100%,
like if I just felt anyway when I got the gift of your products, it was just everything about it. It made me all so warm. It was beautiful to get it. It was really nice.
Oh, thank you.
The health and beauty industry is filled with massive corporations with enormous budgets to boot. As a local producer, how do you differentiate yourself from the Goliaths, I suppose, of the industry?
I suppose having, being so aware of just how big that industry is. I suppose I've about 17, 18 years experience in the beauty industry. I knew that if by doing this, it had to be completely genuinely my products. I'm the difference. I'm definitely not in competition with those bigger brands. And that's the difference. I suppose it's my love and my energy that goes into each pour, each individual batch. And that's what makes it so different. I think a machine will never be able to do that, and it's the fact that the ingredients are also seasonal and so locally sourced as well. Like I've just sourced beeswax from a beekeeper in Rosscarbery, which I was so excited about. The other day I collected this enormous disc. It's like a sun. Wow. It's amazing. This enormous disc of beeswax, and it smells so gorgeous. It's like it smells of beautiful honey, and yeah, I just can't wait to get using it.
So like you differentiate yourself, I suppose, because you're local, you're small, and it's kind of you pour everything into it from yourself as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you grow the like some of the herbs and stuff in your garden, is it? Or
yeah. With the herbs, some of them I grow myself. Obviously, I've been increasing the amount that I'm growing as the business is growing. We're all growing together. But I have been getting some from an Irish company as well. They would be Irish producers. Now I know that with some of the essential oils and stuff like that, they cannot be grown in Ireland. There's a certain amount that isn't, that is imported, but everything that goes into it is 100% organic. I have to stay true to that, definitely.
Well, I suppose like our temperature and our climate is only suitable for certain things.
There's only so much we could do.
And who or what are your biggest kind of influences, I suppose?
I'm slightly obsessed with Michelle Obama at the moment. I just think everything she says is so amazing. Everything she does is gold. She's so genuinely genuine. Yeah. I just really, really like her. And then work-wise, I would say Tammy Fender would be a really good hero of mine. She's based in America. She's a facialist. She makes her own products. Everything she makes, she grows herself. She has amazing A-listers as clients, but she hasn't sold out, or she's really stayed true to her brand and keeps everything as organic and as natural as possible. So yeah, she'd definitely be a role model. And I suppose my two grandmothers, they'd definitely be probably the most important people, or the most important guides that I've ever had, really. One of my grandmothers, we used to call her Nana Ross because she lived in Ross. We were great, very inventive with the name. She was extremely crafty, and she could turn her hand to anything. She just had she just had the most amazing set of hands. She could literally make an Aran sweater and make up the pattern herself as she was going. She used to make vestments for the priests, and she's just one of those people that could just do anything, absolutely anything. She'd pick a slip of a plant, and it would be growing absolutely amazingly in her garden the following year. She was great. And then my other grandmother, who was Nana Farm, because she lived in a farm.
I see the theme here, Rebecca. Yeah.
You can see the pattern here. I suppose her love for nature, and she was a farmer. She was widowed when she was 35. and she reared 5 lovely children, all on her own, and worked a farm all on her own. She was an incredible person. The most important things that she taught me were definitely how nature can provide everything that we need for ourselves as long as we respect it enough. And then she kind of showed me as well that like your own contentment can only be found inside yourself. You don't get it from something else externally or from a place, or from another person. You have to find it yourself. So yeah.
A lot of strong females so influencing your life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
And I think you're going to be one of them yourself now, Rebecca.
God, no, doubt it.
So you've obviously launched these products. They're very successful. Do you hope to kind of broaden the range of products going forward, or is it going to be kind of more like seasonal products, or how do you feel you're going to go further?
With the products that I have at the moment, they will always be changing and growing with the seasons. But yeah, my head is kind of buzzing with new ideas. All right, I really need to calm it down and maybe just focus on one at a time. But yeah, I've loads of ideas. So definitely there's loads coming. So yeah, watch out for my Instagram and my Facebook. There'll be loads more coming.
Like, I suppose having the space, your salon in Rosscarbery, it's a good kind of physical space that people can actually call in and look at the products as well. Like, it's at least you have that as
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah.
It's not just all going to be online or
Yeah. I mean, I suppose as it started off, it literally just started off on Instagram and Facebook. They were kind of my shop fronts, but like I do have a shop front here in Rosscarbery, and yeah, I will definitely be retailing the products from here. And I'm working on my website at the moment as well, so I'll have an online shop. All along, people were literally just private messaging me or DMing me, and that's how we were. I was kind of working the shop, but yeah, it's nearly up and running.
it's
Almost.
hard, I suppose, to scale things up unless you kind of have a website to scale it up from. You kind of need that kind of backing.
Yeah. And I'm terrible, a bit of a control freak. I wanted to do the website myself, so those were skills that I very much did not have. So I've been learning, lots of learning. Yeah, and I'm getting there. I'd say it'll hopefully be launched the next week or two. Yeah.
Oh, very good, excellent. If you had to pick your favorite product out of your range, which one would you choose?
I think it probably changes. I'm terrible. It changes with every pour, with every batch. I'm like, this is my favorite one. This is the best one ever. I suppose this week it's probably my beeswax candles, because I've just got the new beeswax from the local beekeeper here in Rosscarbery, and I'm completely obsessed with that. I just love that the only air miles involved were the bees' wings. I just think it's great. And I suppose, I suppose it changes all the time. I'm terrible.
This week it's the candles. So
yes, this week it's the candles.
We'll do another podcast there in a few months' time, and you can
totally change. Yeah.
That's it. Are there any kind of, I suppose, peer groups and networks in Cork that you find particularly helpful? I know you mentioned there the Leo. Would you find them essential to you, or?
Absolutely. I find them absolutely brilliant. And especially at the moment, all of their courses have gone online. So it's accessible to everyone, and their knowledge, and they're just so helpful. I'm just completely blown away. I suppose I had kind of done 1 or 2 courses with them over the years in things like social media and that sort of thing. But I was always kind of juggling around work, and I'll do that course because I can do it on a Monday, and I'll do that course because I can maybe finish at 5 in the evening or something and do an evening course with them. But being able to be so flexible during lockdown meant that I could do. I was literally signing up for all of them. I'd say they're sick at the sight of me now at this stage, but they've been great. They've been so helpful.
You may as well make the most of it. When you have the time.
Yeah, it was great. And then the Network West Cork is a fantastic group. A friend of mine, Kate Witchley, introduced me to them, a good few years ago. And there's a fantastic bunch of women. There's kind of monthly meetings, and it's just lovely to meet other women that are in business, and just to chat and go through, everybody, they're all going through exactly what you're going through. And they have exactly the same fears, or that sort of thing. And it's very reassuring. It's lovely to have that.
There's reassurance in peers.
Yeah, definitely. Another place to check would be to see if your local town has a Chamber of Commerce or a business association. I've been part of the business association here in Rosscarbery for pretty much since it started a good few years back. It was started by a friend of mine, Pascal O'Brien. His mission statement was for all the businesses to come together and to promote Rosscarbery, and it was really lovely. It's a really lovely thing to be involved in. Again, getting to know other people that are in business and have the same problems and trials and tribulations as yourself. It's great to have that kind of backup. Oh, there's another group actually. This was just a group of my friends who were my tester group. So it was a particular WhatsApp group that I had, and I really would have to say they were the ones from the very, very beginning who kept saying, "This is beautiful. You need to sell it. This is beautiful. You need to sell it." They're a fantastic bunch. So there's Lydia, Emily, Trassa, and Sue, and honestly, without them, they've given me good and bad feedback. They were absolutely brilliant.
That's good. People that you need some people that are able to critique you nicely, but all feedback is constructive feedback, I suppose.
That's it. Definitely take the good with the bad.
What are your biggest challenges that you face?
My biggest challenges, I think definitely with the apothecary, it's been self-doubt. And I suppose the kind of thrive for perfectionism, rather like at the moment I'm procrastinating with my website because I want to make sure it's 100% perfect. I need to just let it go and get it out there and get it going. They would be kind of my biggest problems, I suppose. And just maybe not enough hours in the day, really.
Yeah, you're a workaholic, so.
Yeah, I said to my husband after the very first lockdown, I was saying to him, I was like, gosh, having time off, like I've relaxed so much. It's amazing. Like I did really miss work and I really miss my clients, but I was saying, God, I actually feel so chilled out and I feel so relaxed. And I was like, maybe I'll start taking a little bit more time off work. And then when the apothecary started, he was like, you do realize you're now working 7 days a week. Where did this notion of working less hours, where did that go? I was like, oh gosh, how did this happen? But when you're doing something you love, it's not like work.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
enjoy it. And do you find like when you are making up the batches and stuff for the apothecary products, do you find you're relaxing, or is it just you're so focused on getting it like perfected?
It's the most relaxing thing ever. It's like when you're doing an art project or you're painting or you're drawing or whatever, it's completely mindful. Like it's the only thing you're thinking of. So it's just afterwards, it's super relaxing. And again, actually, my apothecary at the moment is in our downstairs bedroom. That's where the magic is happening at the moment. And my husband comes to the door every so often and literally just like inhales. He's like, oh, it's so relaxing. Closes the door and leaves. It's just the smells are amazing.
It must smell really nice. I like does the smell go right throughout your house? You must have the most beautiful smelling house.
All over the place.
Very good. Away from the relaxing, and you've spoken about creating your own website. Like, have you used a software for that, or what were you?
Yeah, again, two other friends that I have here in Rosscarbery who are also in business, Steve Cleary and Sadie Pierce, they both told me, because we were just discussing at different times, meeting while walking, as usual, in lockdown. And we were just discussing, how's the new business going, blah, blah, blah. I said, working on the website. And both of them said to me, they were like, Squarespace, amazing. It's really, really usable. And I found it really, really good. And they have lots of little web clips on YouTube that'll, totally help you as to how to do it. And they've got great support. I found them very good.
The school of YouTube strikes again.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I partake in the school of YouTube constantly in my work.
It's brilliant, isn't it? Sharing knowledge, can't beat it.
Which piece of technology or software can you not live without?
I suppose, I love my laptop, but my phone is never really that far from my hand. Whether it's like I read about an ingredient and I'm like, that sounds really interesting, and I'll start Googling it. Or whether it's getting back to clients with the salon. My phone, it's like another arm.
Do you find it hard then to switch off from the phone?
Yeah. Yeah, simple answer. Yeah. Definitely. Like I think during lockdown, I did get a little bit better at kind of just leaving it behind. If I go for a walk, the phone stays at home. That sort of thing now, most of the time. Yeah, I'm trying to get a bit better and to get a bit more disciplined about when I can use it and when I don't.
Because you'll have to know.
That app actually, that shows you how much usage you have each week. That's a little bit
That's a bit
terrifying,
scary.
but it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like when
Yeah.
you launch your website now, you're definitely going to have to detach yourself from that phone.
Yeah, I'm going to have to set myself hours, I think.
Yeah, just what you do now is go down to that room downstairs, put the phone like outside in the garden or in a shed or something away from you, and like just focus on that.
Yeah,
The mindfulness of your apothecary work.
Actually, that is one thing I do. I don't have the phone in the apothecary.
Oh,
I literally have like a radio on or a podcast or something, but I don't tend to have the phone in.
Really good energy so around the apothecary products.
Yes, absolutely.
It's been treated very well so that when you give it as a gift for someone, it's just all good energy around it. So
exactly, yeah.
You were saying there that it's all kind of natural products there that you use. Is that very important to you?
Oh, extremely. Yeah. I mean, even with the salon, when that started, and I suppose when I went to even my very first kind of beauty expo, like there's annual ones that, well, actually they're twice a year now, I think, up in the RDS, and it's basically everything new that's in the industry. And I remember, I'd say it was about 18, 19 years ago, to go into my very first one, and it was so exciting. And I remember asking, I was like, is this packaging recyclable? And they'd just be looking at me going, would you go way back to West Cork and go hub a tree? And I was like, is this anything organic? Do you have anything natural? Do you have anything natural and organic? And it's so funny because back then they literally used to just almost blank me. I was like, who is this annoying person? Why does she keep asking for all this stuff? But now the industry has changed so much. It's brilliant. It's becoming way more mainstream for ingredients to be more organically sourced and things, which is great.
Way back then it was a bit weird, but now it's just, this is the way it is. Like that's just part and parcel.
It's now the norm. It's amazing. And I suppose you can even see in fashion too, it's following, like all the industries are kind of following along that direction where they're being more sustainable and more, better for the climate. And yeah, it's great. It's great to see that direction,
especially with lockdown, and there is, a lot more kind of going towards online selling. I'm kind of looking more at trying to find local suppliers, local produce, more than I would have done maybe say this time 2 years ago. Whereas that at that point, I suppose I would have been like, what's the cheapest thing? That was the focus on my mind. Whereas now I'm kind of, I'm more focused on supporting local as much as I can. And if there's only a small price difference, let it be. Like, think about the impact on the environment. So
isn't it a good thing to keep that little bit of extra money? Even if it is just a few euros, that little extra few euros staying in your locality means so much more.
So much.
Yeah, definitely. There has been a massive stretch in that direction, hasn't there, towards supporting local? I suppose because with lockdown, we're also worried that all of our lovely places won't open.
Exactly.
We want to see all the local doors open again, and we want to see everybody back in their jobs. And it would be such a shame for it to go to to go outside of our local economy. I suppose having been stuck in your own 2K first, then 5K or maybe 10K, wouldn't it be gas if we could all kind of try and keep our spending a little
bit more local
for the next few months until things start to roll again.
Well, I know for myself, like just being confined to a small area, like when you were able to go out a little bit more, I was so content with just being able to travel in and out, like go for a walk in Clan now as opposed to just around my little rural area.
Inchydoney Beach is almost exotic now.
And I hope that people kind of remember about their local providers when this hopefully all ends.
Yeah, definitely. Try and support those ones that are just around us. And actually, there's been loads of those little coffee docks and things that popped up, and I really hope they stay going because gosh, they were such a treat, weren't they? Like, it was so great there to pop down to the morning and have a coffee and drip on a Sunday.
It's so easy then as well, like It's nice just if you're going for a walk. Oh, I'd love a lovely little coffee. No, I just
Yeah,
love that. That it's a little bit of luxury in your day.
absolutely. It was the little things that definitely did make a
Oh
difference, wasn't
yeah. What are your plans for the next year?
it? My plans for next year are, I think, to hug everyone that I haven't seen when we can.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
I know.
I've really missed hugs.
Mm.
My poor dog, I'd say, is hugged to oblivion, and so is my poor husband. I think they're just so sick and sight of me. Yeah, so I can't wait to spend time with all the people that I really, really missed, and um, just to kind of meet up with friends and have those kind of bellyache laughs, that you can only have with certain friends and things. Yeah, give my parents proper hugs. Yeah, really looking forward to that. And then work wise, just catching up with all of my clients. I'm dying to see how they're all doing. And there's been some major milestones. Like loads of my clients have had babies, and some of them have had lockdown weddings, and all that kind of stuff. I'm dying to hear about all of those things. To see them, and yeah, just kind of getting back to a little bit of more normality. I do hope that we remember the little things, those little small things that became really, really great during lockdown. I hope we don't lose that, and I hope we don't forget.
Yeah. I suppose you're trying to get back into working in the salon. Is it just going to be crazy for the next few months, do you think?
It's probably going to be like Christmas
Yeah.
for for the first few weeks. In fairness, like I suppose I've waiting lists and everything, like it's all a bit mad. But in fairness to all my clients, they're all so accommodating, and I know that they don't mind waiting. I know that they will wait, which is very reassuring because I've been in business so long, and because I have such a great relationship with my clients. I'm very, very lucky. I know that there's much newer businesses that don't have that reassurance, and that must be a very, very nervous place to be. But I'm sure that we will all support local businesses will start running again.
You must be looking forward to getting back onto the whole wedding bridal thing.
Definitely, I really miss my lovely brides. Oh God, it's so lovely being part of somebody's wedding day, and like the little part that I am, it's so tiny, but it's this lovely window into the happiest day of somebody's life. It's an absolute honor to do somebody's makeup for their wedding.
I always am a bit envious of beauticians, or because I love weddings. I'm a real wedding sucker. I just think, oh, it must be so nice to see the bride in the morning on their wedding.
It's so gorgeous,
yeah.
and like you're one of the first people to see them in their wedding dress and stuff. And like, there's been so many times that I've actually like zipped people into their dresses, or I've knotted them into their dresses because everybody else's nails are perfect and they're afraid that they'll mess them or whatever. And yeah, it's a total honor. Gosh, I'm hopeless. If I see a wedding on an ad on TV, I could be in tears. I'm a disaster. Yeah, but yeah, I'm definitely in the right job, I suppose.
When you get your makeup done, you feel so amazing. You must feel great being able to give that to people.
It's the best feeling.
Yeah.
It's such an honor. It's really, really lovely. And just to show someone how fabulous they are, it's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
What piece of advice would you give to other people thinking of setting up in business? Like what mistakes or good choices did you make that you think could be of benefit to others starting out?
If you have an idea and it's not going away, then you need to take the jump. You need to just do it. You're not going to have all the skill set. There is going to be stuff you need help with. Don't be afraid to ask. And don't forget that absolutely anyone can be your teacher. You can get absolutely fantastic advice from the most unexpected of places. So listen to all of the feedback, and definitely do testers with tester groups. But make sure that they're people who will be really honest. Like my WhatsApp group, they're the girls, my friends. They were brilliant, and I knew that they would come back to me with a balance. Not just, oh, it's lovely. Yeah, exactly. That's not what you need at the start. You need a lot of honesty. There is so much help out there from the local enterprise office. Get onto your local branch. They just offer so much. They're fantastic. They can do one-on-one coaching with you. You can do mentoring. They do like a how to start up your business course, all those kind of things. You talk to them and you tell them what skills you need, and they'll help you with it. And then, if Network West Cork, also fantastic. It's lovely to have that support from other females in business as well. And plus, like they do in their monthly events, there's just so much to learn. It's absolutely brilliant. And they've been there. So, that's who you want to be getting advice from. Try not to doubt yourself and just take the leap and go for it. It's very rewarding.
Thanks, Rebecca. Thanks for taking the time to chat to us on the Cork Creative Podcast. If you would like to learn more about Rebecca and her work, you will find information and web links at the Cork Creative website.